Let's get over to Lacey Swope. Lace, 9:15, how we looking?
Well, we're starting off with windy conditions, so temperatures have already warmed, guys, from what we were during our morning show earlier. 60s and 70s are the current temperatures, so 9 o'clock, if you're about to head out here in a little bit, it's already a mild start. This afternoon is going to be downright hot. Dry line is punching in, so the system is really starting to set up now across the southern plains. As it churns, it's pulling up Gulf moisture, and it is continuing to crank up our wind. Now, winds will relax some later today, but in the meantime, that wind's been going to work. That's been pulling up the Gulf moisture that you see in green, and this will be fuel for storms later today. The thing is, it's going to kind of shift off towards the east because that dry line is bringing in that desert-like air with dew point values down to the teens. Humidity will be about 5% in far western and southwestern Oklahoma coming up later today. Our Pike Pass Skycam network live from downtown Oklahoma City. It's muggy, it's thick, cloud cover around for now, and yesterday we were showing you the wind chill. Not a factor right now at all. It's completely different air mass in place. 30s and 40s for mile-per-hour wind gusts. It's unreal. Now you can see the dry line moving in to our panhandle where the winds are out of the due west, and that brings in the New Mexico-like air, which is that very dry air that just ramps up the fire danger. Temperatures are warming where we have sunshine now in western Oklahoma, 60s and 70s where we have the cloud cover still in the 50s. Your hour-by-hour forecast here in Oklahoma City, cloud cover clears out this afternoon. Temperatures shoot up, we become warm, we become unstable, and there is a chance that we get isolated thunderstorms to develop. Now, I think for most of Oklahoma today, you're just going to notice the heat, the wind, the humidity. If you're in western Oklahoma, the fire danger today. We have our storm trackers geared up and placed across the state, monitoring for the fire threat, because any fire that gets started out west today could burn very quickly. Our winds do relax. I do want to point that out. Winds will be about 10 to 20, some gusts to 25, but ahead of those boundaries, the cold front and the dry line, that is where we will have the chance for thunderstorms. And if a storm forms today, it would grow very rapidly and become severe. Behind those boundaries, a high to extreme fire danger. So it's another one of those days where, depending on where you are, you could have one extreme or the other. Overall, much of us, it's going to be hot today. Record highs in jeopardy. Weak storm system is what we're kind of dealing with, moving across, giving us just enough lift. It doesn't take much when you get into April and May to get thunderstorms and eventually supercells to develop. The main energy is with this storm moving kind of along the U.S.-Canada border, but we've got enough out of the one coming out of the Rockies that there is a chance to get the cap to break and to get a few isolated storms to form. Now, what I want to point out is chances for our viewing area are mostly 20% or less, slightly higher up towards the east, where I do think the cap is just a little bit weaker. Western Oklahoma, you are dry. Now, between 4 and 10, if a storm can form in this area, we'll have to swarm it, which our trackers will, and monitor the threat for hail, wind, and a low tornado threat. Because ahead of those boundaries, where that Gulf moisture is so thick, instability is very high. Quarters, golf ball size hail, very much possible, and may have some hailstones up to tennis balls. Okay, now what this zone does not mean is that everyone in here sees severe weather, but any storm that can form in this zone could also pose a threat for a tornado. So again, these storms will rotate. Wind and hail, the main concern, may have 65, some 70-mile-an-hour gusts with any of these storms. But I do want to stress the fact for most of these folks, you're just going to see sunshine today, and it's going to be hot. If you start to see clouds billowing on up, you can bet our trackers will be there and our team will be in. If we need to cut in and let you know on air, online of the situation, we definitely will. But I am concerned for folks in far southwestern Oklahoma today for fire danger. Overnight tonight, the cold front shoves back to the north. We heat up into the mid-60s tonight, and out west, the dry line kind of pushes back into the panhandle. As the warm front lifts in, a slight chance for isolated storms to the east tonight. Tomorrow, warm, humid, windy, unstable, and ahead of the dry line, isolated storms possible. Again, a very slight chance, but if one of those storms can pop and fire, it would have the potential to be severe. Friday, that threat's in far western Oklahoma, dry in the metro. Rain chances go up Saturday night into Sunday morning and then taper off. And we're cooler next week, guys, for a while. That's your 9-day forecast. We're back with what caught my eye right after this.